Welcome to the latest video. Here we see the Forest King walking stick. You'll see as I transform this pretty beaten up piece of cedar into a beautiful walking stick. Hope you enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more.
Welcome back, everyone. This is another walking stick. A little bit of a gamble, this one. Found this on a recent walk. Nearly left it there. It's been on the ground for a while. Looks lightweight, probably cedar, which makes it good for carving, but it has tons of checks in it. Still seems stable enough, but you see all the checks and everything. So I was on the fence. I didn't know if I was going to keep this one or not. It's still solid, but what I'm thinking is a nice green man or wood spirit. And because of all the checks, because the wood spirits are also called green men, I'm thinking of filling all this in with a green epoxy. I think that's going to turn out really nice. So the first thing is to start thinning this down, taking out all these high spots. Let's see what comes out of it.
So we've cleaned it up, sort of cleaned up all the checks that were formed. Got some nice ones. There's a few on this side that are going to be quite large. So this stick we're going to keep a little bigger in diameter than most of our other sticks, just to compensate for the fact that it's cedar. But I've laid out, you see the line starting there to there. That's where the handle's going to be. So we're going to really trim this down, because right now somewhere around 2 inches in diameter, maybe 2.5 in this direction, 2 like that. So we're going to trim down right where the handle is, maybe even form it to a hand, maybe a few spots for the thumb, the fingers. We're going to leave this part open for doing the wood spirit or green man carving. We're probably going to fill this check in first before doing the carving. We'll see how that goes. So moving on to the base, we're going to put the copper pipe around the bottom, sort of like what we did with the fire walking stick. So it's just a 1-inch copper pipe. Placed it more or less on center, traced out the inside diameter, and what we're going to do is just whittle it down to that diameter, have a nice tight fit, slip this on with a little bit of epoxy. So we finalized the little tip here,
and what we're just doing is mixing up a little bit of epoxy. I'm going to be putting on the little foot. Doesn't need a lot. We've made a nice tight fit for the copper pipe. So let's get that on. Nice. Clean that up. Should work out nice. So we're moving on to the carving. Picked myself up some flex cut knives, a nice set of 4. And we're going to see how this this cedar carves. I think it should be pretty easy compared to what we had. Certainly a lot softer than some of the ash that we've been carving lately. Still, it's not basswood, but we'll see how this goes. Stay tuned. We'll see how what comes out of it. coming out pretty good. So I wanted to give you a little progress shot. It's not going so bad. Coming out pretty good. Carve's relatively easy. A couple of chips here and there, but that's just with all the cracks in it. Started laying out where the bottom of the beard is going to go to the back, and then I'll taper that down to transition into the handle area. So it'll come up into an easy transition. Now up top, I'm thinking doing some kind of nice big crown or something. I don't know. I think it's working out. I think the similarities are a little too apparent. Nice beard. All right, we'll continue.
Alright, at a stage now where we're filling in the checks with green epoxy. For this one here I'm using a slow pour epoxy, which takes 3 days to dry, so we're delaying the project a bit, but it's the only way to get into these slow cracks. You see, it's a lot more watery than the 5-minute epoxy, but seems to be filling pretty well. So we'll just have to now wait for everything to dry before we sand it all off. But so far, looking pretty good. So we've done all the sanding, all the infill, everything's looking nice and smooth. Went all the way up to 220 grit. Now what we're going to do is hit it with teak oil. I think the cedar is really going to pop nicely, give it a nice dark color. Let's see what it turns out. Oh yeah, darkened right up. And you see that green pops now. Very nice. It's going to turn out great. Yeah, that green infill came out nice.